If y'all are not following Unicorn Dust Designs, what are you waiting for? When you're done with this video, check the link in the description box below to her channel. You will love all of her DIYs and her newfound love of thrifting. So we met up, we live about an hour and a half apart, and hit up 4 thrift stores. That girl can shop. I had a great time too. Today is gonna be part 1 of our haul. I'm gonna show you what I got, what I paid for it, flip some of the items here with you, and let you know where you can find everything. If you are new, welcome. My name is Bree. I love to go junking, thrifting, garage sailing. I take those finds and I upcycle them into beautiful home decor. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it so you don't miss any new videos. This is a huge haul, so let's go get started. So Sammie found this for me. I have no clue what I'm gonna do with it. It's a pretty lace curtain. I think I'll start by giving it a nice hand wash, see if I can get it a little bit whiter, and we'll go from there. The first store we went to was the Salvation Army. It was huge, I'm telling you, huge. I got 34 items, I spent $100, so we'll start off with that box. First up, we have a smaller cutting board with some big old cracks in it. I wouldn't clean it except for the fact that it feels kind of oily, so I don't want that when I'm reselling it, but it will be decor only once I put the details on it. As I get it all finished up, I will pop a price in with the final pictures. I purchased 2 cutting boards this day. Both of them got a good scrub with Dawn Power Wash and warm water, and then I let them dry overnight. Using my orbital sander, I used 80 grit, 120 grit, and finally 220 grit to sand it to a smooth finish. Next up is Loctite Express wood glue in the cracks to give this board some more strength, and then I clamped it tight and let that dry as well. After the glue was dry, I did run a piece of 220 grit sandpaper over that crack just to make sure any of the glue residue was gone. Now we are back upstairs and I'm going to cut a piece of drop cloth fabric and a piece of that beautiful lace to make a little pocket on this board. Before I attach the fabric to the board, I want to freshen up this wood. Since we are not going to be putting food on it, I am using Sweet Pickins Clear Beeswax, which smells wonderful and has a great creamy consistency, and you can see it brings out the wonderful wood grain in this cute little board. You can apply the wax with a brush or a soft cloth, and then once I have the wax on, I grab a fresh cloth and make sure I wipe back any excess. Now that I have got the 2 pieces of fabric cut down to size, I am going to use a staple gun with some short staples to attach it to the back of this board. I take my time making sure I'm pulling it taut around the corners and making sure I'm not pulling too tight that it is messing up the pattern of the pretty lace. I did trim a little extra fabric where I could to avoid the back of this being too bulky, which would make it stick out from the wall when you're trying to hang it. I have my mini Grainsack stencils from JRV. I'm going to use one out of the collection here. I've got a number 24 stencil brush and DIY little black dress. Now you can find all of these paint and products over on my website, upcycledbybree.com. But again, I will leave all of those links down below for you with these product names as well. The key here is to get just a little bit of paint on my brush and offload most of that paint onto a rag. So I'm going in with a very dry brush and stippling in these letters. Now some super exciting news, I have some new brush sizes uploaded to my website for pre-order, so make sure you check those out. They are smaller and will work with these tiny stencils really well. I shifted the stencil up, the whole thing wasn't going to fit, and used the bottom of it to finish off my design. Here's a peek. What do y'all think? Going in with that same clear beeswax to seal it up. I love this French country feel with the lettering and the lace. Y'all know I'm going to put some floral in that pocket. These are left over from last year. This whole bunch was $4 at the Giving Tree, cutting off a little bit of this flocked twig and using a little bit of this pine needle as well. Now I have both of these florals available in my floral collection on my site if you would like to recreate something like this at home. Available now over on my site at $19.95. What do y'all think? A $1 beat up board into this beautiful French country, shabby chic, Christmas inspired wall hanging. Leave me a comment below. Is this a hit or a miss? For project number 2, using the challenge lace, I'm going to cut off the top of these fencing boards because they reminded me of little Christmas trees, and this spindle will become the trunks. I used my circular saw to cut off the tops of the fence posts, and I cut the spindle sizes 3 different ways to make the trees a little bit different heights. Placed the little spindle trunks in the vice grips and used my circular saw to cut an indentation where the triangle tree will slide right in. I also cut a small little piece of base for each tree to help them stand, which I attached to the spindle trunk with my nail gun. I trace each tree over the piece of lace and cut that out to fit. I'm going to use DIY liquid patina to decoupage this lace onto my scrap wood. Now, liquid patina serves several different purposes. It's a transfer gel, it can be a top coat, but it's also a great decoupage medium. I love it when I am using my paper, and I knew it would be the perfect job for this as well because it really does dry very matte, very clear. Then using Olden Gray, which is also a liquid patina, and the dark Decrepit dust, I am going to age up the cut sides of all of my little bases. Little touch of DIY beadboard on the top of these spindles to cover up where they were cut as well. Next up, some Gorilla Clear Grip adhesive to attach the tree to the trunk. This does dry pretty quickly, so I let that dry, and now it's time to pick out a star for the top. I have all of these little stars in my stash. I went with the rusty one. It was my favorite. 1 drop of the clear grip, 1 drop of hot glue until it all dries. That will help keep it in place. Now I went ahead and listed a few of these extra stars as well. I had way too many in my stash. And here is a peek at the final project. What do y'all think? Shabby chic, but you've got just that little industrial touch that I love with the rusty star on top. Be sure to check out my salvaged wood and metal collection where I have listed some fence posts and also plenty of spindles if you would love to make your own version of these trees at home. I have been seeing these little cottage baskets all over and been falling in love with them, and they had a set. How stinking cute are these with the little veggies? Look at the little peas, the little beans. The baskets themselves, I think that's an onion or garlic. The baskets themselves are in really good shape, no big rips or tears. This one is a set of 2, $2.99 and $1.99. There's also the round set of 3, $1.99, $1.99, and $2.99. Up here, I'm super tempted to keep a set, but I don't know if I need any more baskets. Miniature chairs have been finding me. This one's not quite the same as the last couple I found. It's really cool. It's handmade just out of a log, and you can see whatever kind of saw they use left some really big deep ruts in it. Super neat. I mean, this would look great with a little Christmas tree on it. It would look great with a pumpkin on it. Whatever you want to do, a little flower pot in the spring, adorable little porch sitter, and totally fitting into the cottage style. Also could very much so go farmhouse. It was $3.99 and I am going to sell it on my site for $14.95. First up, copper teapot. I really love this one because the handle is super tall and it's got that fun curve on it. Sammie spotted this one because she is so darn tall. It was on a clothing rack kind of in the middle and a little middle vignette. So I snagged it up and it actually has a laminico, some kind of little stamping right in there. So I'll look that up and see if it's anything too special. It was not marked. The gentleman charged me $1.99 and I will have this one listed on my site at $12.95. Next up, this adorable pair of salt and pepper shakers. $1.99. They're solid wood. I love the shape of them. They do not currently have any corks in them, but I have plenty, so I will replace the corks in them. I paid $1.99 and they will be on my site for $9.95. I thought they had a super cool, like, cottagey vibe to them. Love the shape, and they would also fit really well into a farmhouse style. Napkin holders always sell really well for me. This one was originally $7.99 at Kirkland's, had a $2.99 sticker on it, and what caught me was the little copper napkin plate. I'll get this either cleaned up or painted, and after that I will have it listed on my site at $6.95. Next up is a set of 3 enamel bowls. So we had $2.99, $1.99, and 99 cents. I had a trio like this, similar to this before, and it ended up being Falstaff Tea Rose. Now I have not looked this up yet, but I believe it is also Falstaff. I could be wrong. I will look it up. The insides need cleaned up just a little bit, but they are in good shape. This big one does have a little chip in the enamel on the bottom, but the insides look to be good. So I'll do a little more research on these, pop something comparable up right in here, but these will also be listed on my site. Turkey. I've never seen a turkey cutting board before. It is a little worn, but I will give it a good sand. We will give it some hemp oil, and I'm going to list this bad boy on my site for $24.95. It's big. If you can see it in comparison to my head. How fun would this be? Oh no, I want to keep it. Nope. How fun would this be at Thanksgiving? You set up your charcuterie on it. Boom, there you go. Cool kid at Thanksgiving.
Make this cutting board the same kind of sanding, 80 grit, 120 grit, then 220 grit. Now I am using Sweet Pickins Food Safe Hemp Oil to reseal the wood and give it this beautiful finish. Now I was using my gallon jug, but there are more appropriate sizes available over on my site. Also, all the thrifted finds that I am repurposing and selling as is will be available in the current thrift haul collection.
It's probably a dough. Is it dough blender? Jeez, it didn't break. It didn't break. Oh look, I got the fork to it in my cart.
Oh, you should get the spoon.
Heck yeah!
Oh,
look
good.
at you.
Girl, I told you I did.
I got my finger. I don't always pick up wooden utensils, but I saw the fork and I loved the length on it, and then also the dark wood patina. It was 99 cents, and then Sammie found this one for me. Having a thrifting buddy has its benefits for sure. So these are super cute. I'm going to sell them $8.95 over on my site, and I thought they would be perfect to set like inside of a crock or something because they're so super tall. But isn't that just a gorgeous Patina wooden rolling pin? Sammie was saying, like, I never find rolling pins at the Salvation Army, and then literally like 2 minutes later, she looked down and found 3. But she was very kind and gave me one. I chose this one because it has the turned handles. Normally the ones I find have like the metal rod that goes through the middle. So this one was $1.99. I'm gonna clean it up just a little bit, give it some hemp oil so it's still usable, and I will have it listed up on my site at $10.95. Another small chair. This one is a little rocking chair. It's got a weaved seat, some cute little finial tops, and it is solid wood. I was thinking about giving this one a fun chippy paint job with some Sweet Pickins milk paint. $3 I paid for this. Once I have it all painted up, it will be $13.95 over on my site. These are super cute to stick a little plant on, or in a little girl's room with a little teddy bear or something on it. Super adorable. So during this trip, I managed to leave my phone on a shelf at the thrift store, the first one. Then I lost my sunglasses, did not ever find them, which is why I'm not keeping those really nice ones that I showed y'all a few weeks back. Then I lost my keys. They ended up being in my purse. And then I left an entire bag from Savers in Sammie's truck. So she got to see the real side of me. Little space case sometimes, but I was out of my element, y'all. And there was so much good junk and I was overwhelmed. So I'm gonna bring you part 2 next week. It will be the Blessings Abound store and my big haul from Savers. So we'll split this up into part 2, but I hope y'all had an amazing time today. It was a ton of fun to show you everything, to show you some of the shopping with Sammie. We will definitely be doing it again. We had a great time. Again, if you are new, be sure to subscribe and click that little bell next to the subscribe button. That way YouTube will let you know every time I upload a new video. Till next time, I will see y'all later. Bye, friends.
Ooh, I like this one. That looks, do you see that?
Oh, that is a good one. Now, have you
And
got...
look at this old book.
Ugh. Oh, it's a hemp. I don't have boogers or anything, do I? 95. So I will get... Were you snooping again? No, Mom. No, I wasn't snooping in your stuff. Why, you have paint on your nose? Yeah, maybe I was snooping, Mom.